Hi everybody, Mature Simmer. So welcome back to the Hills of Tuscany in the VIP series here. Let's take a look at what we've got. Again, we're doing cereal and sorghum for the immediate needs. We need tomatoes and lettuce, which are growing in our greenhouses. Forget if I was doing anything on eggs yet. I've got some chickens, but I'm not sure they have food yet. I think we're going to do that with the sorghum. You can see it's nice and brisk this morning. So I forget exactly, just trying to get the lay of the land. The chickens are around here. There they are. I knew they were behind. Because, yeah, they have no food. But I believe they can eat sorghum. Let's see. Yep, wheat, barley, and sorghum. So I was going to go ahead with my sorghum fields and let them do their thing. So that's growing here, along with some other places, I think. So we've got a little ways. Oh no, this is ready to harvest, but this is the original field. We're going to have to get things planted. I think we've got all our fields that don't have things on them other than this. But the other big thing we've got is we've got this set up here, and we've got our olive trees up there. Yeah, so up here on field 163, we own those. So let's go do that and start getting olive oil produced. So did we get a little bit? Oh no, these are the raisins. So we had put grapes in there. I'm trying to remember, do we? Oh, that's right, for our cereal. Silly me. It's been a little while since I've been in here. I'm a little bit trying to get my bearings again. Can't go that way. Gotta go around the back. We got the fence there, so we're not going to be able to get out. So if you're not familiar with the VIP Order Manager mod, I really enjoy it for things like this because it gives us a specific target to shoot for, as you can see. So we aren't just doing things for the sake of doing them. Not quite sure yet how much or how long. Oh goodness, I can't get there from here. Well, all right then. I guess we're gonna have to go back the way we did. So this basically just gets us to the grapes. I was really thinking that that would work nicely, but it proved me wrong. So yeah, I probably also need to prune the grapes and stuff at some point. I've probably got a few things that need to get done. So let me get over to the olives, and we'll see what's what. So the snow vanished as I was driving over, but I think this is how we get to our olive grove here. It looks a little open. But yes, this is really going to be the determination now of what do we do here to get the harvester going. I think we just put this around a tree. Slide it in there. There we go. Turn it on. So it's shaking the tree. Not sure what it's gonna do. Let's see. Are these trees not ready, maybe? I mean, I just assumed that they had olives, but they may not. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tell. It looks like there's olives ready to harvest. Well, so this is part of the thing of trying to figure out just what I want to do. So I wonder if I have this to, there we go, maybe that's it. Come on, I saw the tree shake. So let me do that. Alright, how do I know? I cannot get this to work. This should not be this complicated. So let's see. If I pick that up a bit, whoops, flatten this out. So let's see. I'll just go slow, I guess. See, because it's like showing that it's shaking, but come on. Oh boy. Well, let me see if I can figure it out. Alright, so I did get one tree. You can see I've got 21 liters of olives. So, needless to say, I'm not super thrilled about this, because if that's what I'm gonna get, like, this is gonna be really, really tedious. The problem was, and this is what I'm now fighting, I came into this tree from the side. I'm not sure that I can do it because I could not get it to work the other way. So there's collisions with the trees, but they're definitely finicky. So I will, you know, say that. So you can see, like, when the trunk is shaking, like, that's what we need to have happen. And eventually, like, it seems to work. Whoops. It's shaking, but it's not doing it. So I got the one behind me. You can see there's no olives on it anymore. Come on. So it's playing this game, like moving it up and down and hoping it gets it eventually. But it's not. Like, I'm just gonna show you one, if I can get it to work. Wow. This is just a lot. Like, this is gonna take a ton of work, as you can see. So, I don't know that I can say that I'm a fan of the mod. And I may end up just buying the regular olive groves that are over there, because I think this is not, I mean, I need 8,000 liters, for goodness sake. But see, but the problem is, I also think because this is not on a flat location here, I think that's part of the challenge, is I think the way it's interacting with the tree is it's expecting. Okay, so now it did it finally. So you can see it, the tree kind of changes to be a little bit lighter, and we got an additional 21 liters, but as I said, it's a lot to do this, and so, I mean, I'm going to give it a go, but I don't know, you know, I may eventually just be like, okay, this is just too much, and we may give it up. And just say it's just not worth the effort. Cause yeah, all I can figure out is like I could not get it to work this way, and I'm seeming to have this same problem. Because you're trying to get it to shake, but I don't know if I'm just not able to hit the trigger point here properly. In any event, you can see you've got the idea of, you know, how much of a bit of a challenge it is here. So I will try, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I've been fighting with this for a bit here, and I think I may have figured it out. I basically am not changing the height of this, and it almost seems like the point of the picker, it's like further up where it gets it. It's not where the arm is. Like it'll sometimes change here. There you go. You can see like the arm just barely got there, but it gave up the olives. And so if I'm really careful, don't move the the picker at all up and down. It's like I have the right height for what I'm doing, and then I approach the tree with it still on, and then it seems to work a little bit better. So let's see. So there you go. So if it does that, it's usable. It's still going to take a long time. You know, it's a big grove. Maybe I'll get enough. I mean, I have 200 liters. I have not finished all of the first row. I kind of started getting progress here on the second row, and I'm like, you know, see, so it was like instantaneous there. So it's just hitting the exact point is what it takes, but that point is still a little bit special. You know, if you're thinking of using this mod, just be aware. It does have a bit of challenge, and I'm sure just like any olive tree, I mean, it's not as if the little olive trees do such a great job, because initially I'm like, wow, 21 liters, like that can't be right. But if you think about it, you've got an olive grove with like all kinds of trees, so there we go. Like it shook that one pretty fast. So I think it's just the point is not anywhere near between the tree and the shaker of where the actual head is in the center. It's an earlier trigger point. See, I'm not, like if you look above, like I'm really not at the tree yet. I mean, I kind of probably drifted forward more than I should have. But at this point, I'm willing to try this if it works this way. Because for a while it was taking me like literally 5 minutes per tree. But now it's just driving around. I did check the horsepower of my tractor too. Now I can't see anything here. This thing needs 85 horse, and this is 150 horsepower tractor, so... but there you go, it got that, and clearly we're nowhere near being on the tree. But it's looking like, you know, maybe we're gonna get at least 300. I think this tree is still left, but I think then I'll have 2 rows done. Not taking it yet, but yeah, this is the last tree. We'll try to get this to work. There we go, it did get it, 311. So it's about 150 per row. But the tractor's powered enough compared to this, but something is just a little weird with it. So just a lot of challenges here, but I'm hoping once I get up the hill and I'm kind of a little bit flatter, it won't be as bad. But the real question is going to be, like, if I have to pick this grove 7 times or something, like, that could get really, really tedious. But yeah, definitely, like, see if I turn it off, like, I can move. So it is, but taking away half the horsepower, it shouldn't require that much energy to go up the hill, so I don't understand. But that is what is happening, and there we go. We picked that tree just that fast. So I think I've cracked the code of the olive picker, so I'm going to use it, but I can't say that I wouldn't feel a regular olive picker and a regular olive grove wouldn't be more efficient. So I may go to that eventually, but for now I'm gonna pick some olives this way, and I'll pop back when I'm done and we'll go from there. I am back, so I am gonna show you what I've learned and what I've been doing. I'm moving along. I think I'm closer to the end of the grove than not, so I can move faster without having things on, and then collect the tree, back off, move to the next one. But basically the trigger point, if you see to the right side of the umbrella, let's say, you go into the tree a little bit on the right side, and there you go. And so it's actually still not fast, because it just, you've got to position yourself and so forth. But I figured as I'm getting ready to fill this up, I get here, you know, but so the trick is, as several things, just don't look at kind of where it should be. You know, we've got cedars and planters and things where the fill points and the triggers are just not where you'd think they'd normally be. So, and I've never gotten it to trigger going backwards, so it's like if you miss it on the way in, it won't give it to you. But if you just back out like I did on that tree. Alright, so we are full here. So now let's go dump this into our olive mill so that that can start. So I'll see you over there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab this tractor because the olive mill is not here. Whoops. Wasn't connected there. Because this is, the grape mill. Alright, so we're going to lift this up. I'm going to try to keep this flat because I have determined also that if I can keep things kind of at that level, it seems to work better as opposed to angled in any way. But there's a little trap door under here. And so you can see now, I'll dump this, and there we go. So the olives get put into the trailer. And then eventually we'll be able to take that to the olive mill. But that's the process, and then, the challenge, however, is going to be that it's kind of a 1-to-1. 2 liters of olives is going to make 2 liters of olive oil plus a little bit of, I think, the pomace of olives. Just too many grapevines. Getting confused. The road's this way. So that basically means to get 8,000 liters of olive oil, I'm going to need 8,000 liters of olives. And if I even get 2,000 liters of olives off this field, I'm going to be surprised. So I'm still not sure, and I'm going to ask for input, I guess, because by the time I get to the next harvest, should I keep working these olives and just do the work that's necessary? Because at this point I've probably spent once I figured it out, I've spent maybe half an hour, 40 minutes to finish up what I had there, but I probably had spent another half hour to 40 minutes to get maybe the first 300 liters, and then in the next 40 minutes got the 1,200. So, to get this full, to do that whole grove might be an hour and a half of harvest time, which honestly doesn't seem inappropriate, I guess, is probably the way I'd think about it. If you think about, well, I'm harvesting a field, how much effort does that require? I'm going to go up through the row of trees here, because otherwise trying to go between the trees and the olive trees is going to be tight. But then we were, over here. Because the other thing I didn't notice is that one tree, harvested, or did I lose some olives? That's always a question, because, it shows harvested. I'm guessing it is. So I'm thinking if I go back in here, I'm not going to get any more, but I might. So I'm going to try a little bit at least, just to be certain. But maybe it got me the full amount. But yeah, it's not taking it. But as you can see, I've got another, 1, 2, 5 rows, because I've got this last tree here, and I've done more than 5, let's just say that, to not take a ton of time, just trying to be 100% accurate. But the 1,500 is more than I've done, or is more than half of the field. So I'm not going to get 3,000 off of this grove here. But I don't know that an hour and a half of harvesting is terribly inappropriate for something like olives, which I would imagine is a pretty intensely difficult crop. And I can always do things like I was doing back in Riverview, which was I could turn off the olive chain, because I think really the olive chain is olive oil, and that's it. So I'd be losing one product that the VIPs would order. You know, but I guess my thing is I'm just wondering, you know, if they suddenly need double this or triple this or quadruple this later on. You know, and this takes me 4 passes through this field. How is that going to work? But you can see, just watching me, you know, I've gotten 4 trees done since we've gotten back here. So you kind of have now an idea of what this looks like if, you know, kind of once you're really on task. I mean, it's certainly in no way as efficient as just lining up on a row of the olive trees that are in the game. But I also think part of why this mod was made is I think this is more realistically how olives are harvested. I think you have these larger trees. You know, and what I don't also know, and I'm certainly not going to take the time to figure it out. If someone knows, let me know. But obviously, you've got to plant these trees farther apart. But I don't know that I get more olives off this grove or less olives off this grove over the same amount of land. But probably the same amount of land, realistically, would be 15 or 20 minutes, I think, with a traditional olive harvester. You know, that's the difficulty here. But I'm almost done with another row. I've got, you know, but I've only got 165 liters. I'm gonna, you know, kind of be sitting up at 200 by the time I get there, because it's 20 or 21 per tree, and so there's a little bit of variation there. It's not always the same. You know, and I don't know if it's the large tree or what it is. It's not letting me go forward there, so it's kind of acting a little weird. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Went too far back. Now it's... I probably got too close, so again, I hit that trigger, the collision, and it's like, no, oh boy. The problem is hitting B and hitting the spacebar. I'm doing it with one hand and steering with the other to try to move along, but it's like you're thinking you're shaking and then you're not. So there you go, 207, but that again includes an additional tree at the end there. So it is just slightly less than 200 liters for a row. You can hear the bells. Very nice. So glad I got that for you. It'll be a nice little ambiance thing, but yeah, in the end, let me know down in the comments. Are you guys up for, yeah, you know, harvest this way? That's what the map provides, and I mean, it provides regular groves too, so don't get me wrong. There's a standard olive grove close to the farm, along with some vineyards. So I could just purchase that and purchase, you know, the difference is I'd have to purchase an olive harvester. So there's going to be more of an outlay for sure. So let me know what you think. But I'm going to get this done and get things delivered to the olive mill, and I'll see you when I'm ready to do that. Alright, well here we are. So we have gone up through here, I guess, with the, oh goodness. Hopefully it'll make it. Downshifting there, but it seems like the tractor's doing its thing. Wow. Definitely a bit of a struggle, but should be good here. I guess we're gonna need, oh boy. I don't know how I'm gonna get in here. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because with this trailer, it's definitely not easy to move it around. Well, let's see. Because I can always manhandle this thing out of here, but that is the drop-off point. So I kind of need to do this. Oh boy, I'm hitting the wall. Well, there we go. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I mean, of course, This won't be great because I've got all kinds of tight quarters. Wow. Well, welcome to Italy, folks. This is going to take a bit. This is like the event I did in FOC where we were trying to back up the articulated trailer and it was a disaster, and I frankly couldn't do it. So I'm not too hopeful here. Come on, it's turning already. I don't need that. What do I do here? I mean, to straighten it out is like so far away is the problem. Can't do that. Alright, let me try it a different way. So I'm going to try to come in and make it loop around the other way than what I did. So I'm going to come in here and then come around. But yeah, whoever designed this map, and maybe they did it on purpose, was like, we're going to make this lots of fun. Oh, I cannot. I'm not going to be able to do this, I don't think. I mean, it's moving a little bit, but I'm thinking if and when it finally, like, lets loose, it's going to be pretty bad. Oh, this is not any better. So that didn't work, because I was hoping I could get around. So that literally, other than being entertaining, I'm literally no better off. Come on, where's the trigger? There we go. Holy moly. That is a lot of effort, and to have to do that 3 more times for these folks, oi. I mean, what I'll probably do, I mean, depending on how things go, now that I know how challenging this was, I may go ahead and just wait next time. So there we go. Oh, actually, oh no. It's 2 liters of olives for 1 liter of oil. We're getting 2 liters of pomace. So this is going to be just not at all, ooh, what I want. I'm almost going to make the call. I don't know how I can realistically use that field of olives for my sole source. You know, I'll keep it. You know, we purchased it. We have some money, and there's not really a reason to not utilize it. But I think I'm going to buy the olives next to me and go ahead and use those, and that will probably be my main source, because otherwise at this point, knowing what I just realized, I'd have to harvest that field 8 times for what these guys need, you know, or buy that other one and harvest both of them 4 times. You know, it would still be 4 times. It's going to be the same amount of effort, and I think I just need to go to the traditional olives for the most part. If I have some smaller requirements later, I don't know what that would be, because as I said, it's not as if there's some chain that takes olive oil further right now. So yeah, definitely a bit of a challenge with that, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let me get back to the location, and then in this case, I'm probably going to buy the olive fields near the farm, get myself an olive harvester, and head on over there, and today may just be the day of olives. So I'll see you in a bit. So, you know what? I've gotten here to the farm, and as always, I've changed my mind onto what makes sense. Because the olives are not due, the olive oil is not due till next VIP level. My immediate need is cereal and sorghum. So I'm going to head back here because we're going to need... we need 3,500 liters of raisins, but we can't get that. We can only get 4,000. So I need another 447 liters of 447 liters of grapes, because that's what it's going to take to get 4,000 liters, because we have 553 over there already. So we're going to go ahead, quickly harvest. Again, 447 liters, or very close to that. So I'm not going to do the full row on the way back, because this is clearly going to get me most of the way there. So there we go, 403, and we need 447, because we have 553 liters of grapes just waiting there already. So let's see, 11, not quite lining up the way I'd like. There we go. What am I? Which way am I? It's hard to tell. I did so well getting onto the vines the first time. Alright, well clearly I need to go that way. Let's see, what if I do that? Okay, 435, 443. It's just not gonna go. I'm gonna be like way past or something. My goodness. Alright, there we go. 452. So turn off the harvester, and then we'll just drive off the row. So, grabbed a few more grapes off, but this was more urgent. But what I really need to do is get sorghum in the ground. So I'm going to spend the rest of the daylight hours seeing how far I can get there, knowing that we're going to need a little bit of sorghum to sell and to feed the chickens. So I could plant a lot of sorghum, just not sure that I want to do that. So I'm going to have to think things through there. I may just end up leaving this harvester parked here, because it's not like it really matters. Alright, so we're going to grab this, and it's really going to be a question of what do I need? Because, yeah, I'm not really clear. Just realized I don't have a lot of fertilizer, so I better head back, get that handled. Whoa. That's not what I wanted. But sometimes, again, weird farm simulator physics, stuff like that happens. So yeah, that trailer would be pretty good to use, because it's not articulated in any way. Alright, well, I'm not lined up underneath. Goodness. Too much bouncing. Let's see if this will work. Well, that gave me seeds somewhere. There we go. Like somewhere is fertilizer, but alright, and we're adjusted to sorghum. So I'm thinking I may go with the field where I had the meal, and then maybe the southern oat field, number 22 over there. So what I don't recall is, well, I had lots of different requirements, because I was going to say I don't recall how much I needed of other planting or other crops and what my orders looked like. Alright, so the reality probably is I really should probably just plant the whole farm in sorghum, because I'm going to need it for eggs. I'm going to need to feed the chickens, and I only had like 20,000 of everything on each of the level 1 orders that I filled. But remember, I had to replant the meal to get 20,000, so I don't think I'm going to have enough unless I just really go with it. So I am going to spend the rest of the day, and probably into next month, planting these fields. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that, And then we'll come back and do something else, but we'll see how everything goes. So I will see you in a bit. Alright, bright and early here in April. So, partially done planting the fields. I've got 6 and 7 done, and obviously the field where we had meal. So, I've still got to do 8, 22, and the big one. But in the interim, I've decided we need to go ahead and get the cereal moving, because that is also a level 2 order. So we need 7,000 liters of cereal. If we look at the cereal factory, or the cereale factory, as we'd have it in Italy, we need 2 oats, 2 corn, basically 1 for 1 for cereal. So if I'm making 7,000, I need 7,000 oats and 7,000 corn. So we are going to get that run over. We're going to run this out, but I wanted to get up bright and early because I think it's going to take every moment I have to get the sorghum planted. You know, that's all well and good, but I want to get this done kind of before the sun comes up, if maybe, or, you know, before 9 a.m., let's say, so that I have a nice full day. I've worked until about 1900 or 2000 hours yesterday, which is 7 or 8 at night, but it was pretty dark. So you can see here the sorghum. I cleaned up the other field. I left this the way it planted, thinking, well, you know, I'm not going to keep touching things up, but it's really a mess. I also had tried in between to see if I could hook the implements up in opposite order, basically putting the planter right behind the tractor and having the seed wagon behind it, but you cannot with that case. It can only be configured the way it is. So unlike the seed hawks and the larger items that let you move things around, that is not possible. So we were kind of stuck. This is the other field. We got to plant 22. So once I get going, I'm going to do 8, I'm going to do 22, and then I'll finally move over at the end to 77. Right. So we've got oats. Now we need to go get corn. So I will get the corn done, and then we need to move some raisins and honey. So there will be some stuff going on with that. So once I'm moving the palleted items, we're going to start to try our new trailer and hope that things work nicely with that. But I will be back when I'm ready to start moving some pallets, or as I'm moving some pallets. So I'll see you in a bit. I've gotten the oats and the corn over to the factory. I'm now going to take the tractor up, and I'm going to actually have the planting going, because I'm doing that with some automation, so that can start working while I'm fumbling around trying to figure out what I need to do with the pallets and so forth. Now what I'm hoping, because basically the honey and the raisins are... Oh, I forgot things would start growing, but we're good. So again, the nice thing is, well, it might be nice, I might hate it later, but at least I'll know, is we won't have to do all the fields at once. You know, and it might work out because I may not need... Ooh, I forgot I kind of planted these to help with the automation, so I'm going to have part of this on field 8. I just really thought I'd get everything done, but I obviously did not. Alright, so it should go ahead and start. I'm wondering, I should have filled it up with fertilizer. Well, it'll do what it'll do. In the interim, we're going to jump over here. And again, this will be a first. But basically, I need 3,500 liters of each. Now, I won't be able to do that with raisins. I'm going to be able to get closer to that with honey, because if I recall, I think honey is on 400 liter pallets. So I won't have to do a full 1,000 liters. But I'm going to go get my honey taken care of. Let's see. How do I... Alright, curtain, curtain, curtain. Interesting. What if I don't want a curtain? So I'm not quite sure how this'll work, but let's see. And oh no. Alright, so this actually works much nicer than I thought right now, because literally as the honey pallets are coming out, it just grabs them and puts them on the truck. Now, wish I could see what's in the truck. You know, it appears to be doing that properly, so that's better than I thought. And then I will, you know, make sure that then we can go get the raisins and so forth, and we should be good. But I've tried the keys that normally open things. I've pressed the, you know, curtain left front. I'm on the left side, so thought I'd be okay. So the question is, have the bees generated enough honey to give me 3,500 liters? I would imagine they would have, because we've had months. Well, maybe not. That may be it. Well, that'll get some cereal going, but then again, we're waiting for honey. So I need to head over to the grape location, and then I will once again get myself over to the cereal factory. So we'll get over to the grape location, and we'll see how things get loaded up there. I'm going to take a peek, because maybe what I want to do then is just not have this with curtains. If I can, maybe I just do this as a low loader so we can see what we have. Alright, well, I cannot. It just, you can change the sides, but it doesn't let you... yeah, let me turn off the auto load, by the way. I'm also thinking, now that I think about it, I'm thinking I probably cannot do multiple loads, because what I was thinking is it was kind of like the auto load light trailer that we have in FOC, and that I basically would be able to walk pallets over to it or whatever, and they'd pop into place. But this actually seems to do an auto load, so I guess let me go to the cereal factory, get rid of the honey. But what I can do then is at least start producing some of the cereal and do what I can until we're closer to having the honey ready to go. But once again, this is where we have bees that are not as fast as we might like. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Is it gonna... So there you go. So it opened and it unloaded. But my guess is if I tried, I would have had a problem. But we have 2,100 honey. So the key was, this was my first test, and with all the platinum expansion stuff that I've got, and I'm sure that they're going to ask for, that was what was going to make it usable, because I wasn't going to have to load things in a cumbersome way. So this at least again lets things go and move and lets us service the VIPs. It's also nice that, again, we've got a good powerful truck and so forth, so this will move things along. But yeah, so okay, so now I do have curtain side, I see, so I can do that, because at least that gave me that view. Alright, so you can see it slides up, the rails slide up, and then eventually I guess the curtains go back. There we go. So we can open it up and kind of observe what it's doing if we want. So that's nice, because that was one of the things I was like, oh, it's just kind of happening as a magic thing where we can't see anything at all. So I want to go through these roads. Got to be a little careful with a truck, because obviously it might be a little more challenging. I don't need to go into the forest, so we'll go along the edge of the field here. Because basically I want to get over there. So we'll head down. It's going to take me further than I was hoping, but again, we've got a pretty fast truck here, so this shouldn't be too bad. So get ourselves over. And then we're going to pick up the raisins. Hopefully we won't have any trouble getting into the location there. But yeah, this is probably one of the few things, one of the only vehicles I have that actually lets me drive without any struggles on all these hills of Tuscany. So it is nice, but buying larger tractors or something wouldn't really work. Wow. This is what I'm worried about, is that things are just going to be a bit too tight here. I'm not sure what it was hitting. Oh, I see. There's a fence up in front of me. Now we're just scraping along here. So yeah, this is all very, very tight. So just want to be careful. But yeah, this is just making short work of this. That is for certain. Just be careful. But yeah, getting bigger tractors, for example, like they'd have a hard time maneuvering in certain locations. Alright, so we're going to open this up, which it kind of does right away, and then everything moves. But then we can just go here and turn on auto load, and there they go. So interesting how they palletize themselves. Let's see if I can see this directly. Yeah, they're just lizard assorted goods. Interesting. But maybe one of these times I will try to see if I can mix and match, but I'm guessing I wouldn't be able to. But maybe if it's doing that, it will let you do that. Alright, so I'm going to get these dropped off to the cereal factory. The cereal factory will obviously start producing, and then I will continue planting. So that is the next set of work that's going to get done here. So I will see you in a little bit. Welcome back. So I'm over here on field 77. You can see just running around, getting things planted. It's amazing to me how much fertilizer gets used here. Certainly going to have to go back. I have yet to put more seed into this implement here. So this is what we've been using for all the fields. So this is the last field to be done, and I decided at this point, because I've got some work ahead of me for certain, that I am not going to include in the episode as much as I thought I was going to. I think it's just going to make it too terribly long. But let me show you, while this continues to run, what I've done. So you can see here, again, we've planted these. So, you know, this was the fresh one today. This was the other one. We're now doing this one. And then 6, 7, 9, we're done before 1 is ready to be harvested. The other thing I have done, however, is taken a look at where we sit with the olive production and kind of made a decision. 251 liters is what I made. I need 8,000 liters of olive oil, as you can see here, going to the farmer's market. I would be harvesting that field for years to get things done. As it is, I think it's still going to take a few years, but I've got to go to the traditional olive harvesting, and so that is what I'll be doing, but we're going to do that and start that off in the next episode. So what I have done is I have purchased 4 more plots of land, these 2 and these 2, because they're kind of near my farm or near my other fields. And if you go here, they are olives, traditional olives, that I'll use a traditional olive harvester with. Now, there's more olives here, And that is actually it. So at this point, I don't know that I want to go down that far, and I don't want to create a situation where it suddenly thinks I have tons and tons of olives. What I was initially going to do was finish planting and then go work on the olives. That just isn't going to make a lot of sense. So I just wanted to get this wrapped up and tidy this up and then move on to a new piece after that. I am now also going to activate my cereal factory so that it can start producing the cereal I need. I don't have enough honey, but over the time that we're waiting for everything else, sorghum's going to grow pretty quickly. It's basically got 4 stages, so it's going to take 5 months in total before I can harvest. So that's going to give me a little bit of time. But I am going to keep going on this. But at least you now understand where we're at and what we're doing. And as I said, feedback and comments are always welcome. If you haven't liked the video, please go ahead and do so. And trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone, so I'd appreciate if you're enjoying these, want to keep coming back, see what else is going on with the channel. If you would subscribe, and that way you can more easily find it. You can even hit the notification button to get notified when new videos come out, which is at least a couple a day at this point, and that's kind of the target I'm going to have. But I will say there's going to be less FOC content per se, as opposed to creating a bunch of videos where I just kind of go around and talk about whatever. I'm just focusing on some new things but that's not until we get into November. So you're not going to see the new form then, but what that'll do is it'll start clearing space for other things to start appearing on the channel more frequently. So hopefully that'll entice you to subscribe and come along. So with all that, I'm going to keep this going, and I will see you next time.